You won't believe the real reason why 50 Cent hates Irv Gotti and Ja Rule. Gene Deal exposed it all. Stick around and hear the shocking truth.
Yeah, how did y'all meet?
Well, I met 50 through Black Hands. I was head of security for Black Hands. Chaz Williams was on American Gangster, BET American Gangster. He used to manage Foxy Brown for a while. He managed a dude called Graf under Graf. He did a lot of parties all over the nation. He did parties with Shaq at the when Shaq had the All-Star Cafe in Vegas. We used to do parties all over the country. And he was over Black Hands Entertainment. And he also did that compilation album where you got DMX, 50 Cent, Ja Rule, Donald Goins, a host of other people on that Black Gangster album from Donald Goins. He did that.
And the crazy part is I had a opportunity to meet Chaz and Graf, and I met them in Atlanta. This is a few years back, and this was actually before like 50 or anybody blew up at this point. I got to meet them. When we was in Atlanta, we was making a lot of moves out there musically and stuff. So everywhere that I was at, I was with people who was popping. And I had a chance to meet Chaz. He was a real cool brother. As a matter of fact, I got a picture somewhere with him and Graf from me meeting him and hanging out with him for a hot second. But let's continue.
He did that. So I was head of his security. 50 was over there. I had a group myself called No Fear. They was from Harlem. This guy named Mel, hot, crazy. He would have been bigger than Jay-Z had he not listened to the guys that was pulling him away. Trust and believe. His name was Swar. They call him Swar. His name was Mel. Crazy, lyrically crazy. He was so hot that, 50 might hate this. 50 will take anybody's. Mel was over there putting hooks on 16 bars. He'll do 16 bars. He was the first one doing that. 50 took that and put it on the street first. He heard it from Mel and put it on the streets and started putting it on tapes and taking people music. Mel was taking people music and redoing their songs. Like if you do the hot song and you was an R&B or a rapper and you had a hot beat, Mel will take your beat. He would take your song and do a whole new song and put it on a CD. But he wasn't putting it in the street like 50. 50 took that idea, ran with him, blew him straight up.
So 50 was influenced. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely influenced out here. Got that idea from somebody, But look how he ran with it and did what he did with it. Sometimes that's how we move, baby.
Crazy. Everybody want the 50 Cent track. Everybody want to hear from 50. That's how that got to Eminem from hearing 50 mixtapes. But that ideal came from Lil Mel from 112th Street. So I was going up to Black Hands and everything like that. So then we was going to do a show in a party in Vegas. And I had seen 50 at the Black Hands a couple of times. So when we got off the plane, I made sure 50 was good. And I made sure 50 was all right. We was like, I said, you all right? He said, yeah, you all right? He said, yeah. I said, you can handle this? He said, yeah, I can handle this. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of rat, bastards out here. And because I was in law enforcement and everything like that, I didn't, me making sure he was all right because he was a part of our team, somebody don't look at that like this, we being safe. I'm looking at us, we all gonna be safe. I don't care what the circumstances of the situation was at that time in my life. So 50 was all right. So we was down at the gate where we was giving a party and it was just me and 50. And we was just talking. 50 was the type of dude, he was young and he would just write everything. You be talking to him and he'd be writing down. That's why I think that song he got called "Hands Up" or
And the crazy part is 50 Cent co-signed everything that Gene Deal's saying. I seen a post that he made and said Gene Deal don't be lying at all. So, it goes back to tell you about all the stories that he done told you. I never thought Gene Deal was a lie, but Choke No Joke did for some reason.
Up in Here, something like that. He said, I got the savoir faire. I told him what savoir faire means. That was my company. You know what I'm saying? Or Get Up. I think that's the song or whatever like that. So he said, I got the savoir faire. That was the name of my company, savoir faire. You know what I'm saying? So I told him what it meant. So he put that in his song. So long story short, Irv Gotti and Supreme and all them pulled up. And Supreme jumped out the car. And him and 50 was just mean mugging each other. And Supreme was telling me, like, yo, Gene, tell the old man that I'm not coming to the party and everything like that. And we going over to this other spot and everything like that. I said, y'all not coming, you're not gonna go up there and tell him yourself? He said, nah, man. And him, he never took his eye off 50. And 50 never took his hand off one of my girlfriends. And I was like, because he was leaning over the thing like this, and I knew where he had put it.
Don't let the girlfriend thing go over your head either.
That. So 50 was leaning over the thing like this. I was like, yo, damn. So I was like, why they was mean mugging? I didn't know it was a problem between them two at the time. So he got back in the limousine, they drove off. And so then I told Chaz the situation. I was like, yo, what you calling them ain't coming to the party. Because he asked me, did I see them? I said, yeah, they came up in a limousine. They said they wasn't coming to the party. You know what I'm saying? I said, but him and 50 was mean mugging each other. He was like, yeah, he started laughing. Chad started laughing. I said, yeah. He said, so what happened? I said, nothing. 50 was all right. He said, what you mean 50 all right? I said, he had one of my girlfriends with him. And then Chad said, he had what? He said, go get that from him. I said, man. Yo, he good, man. He be all right. He all right. He said, man, boy. So that was it. So me and 50, we just became cool. We just used to talk. And then after the big fight that he had with Ja Rule in Atlanta, Ja Rule and the people like that in Atlanta, they set up a meeting at Black Hands. So they set the meeting up at Black Hands, for them to talk. But prior to that, they had caught 50 at I don't know if it was the Hit Factory or the Sound, the Hit Factory or the Sound Studio, one of them studios down on 40th Street like that, or 50-something Street, and they stabbed him up. Now, they stabbed 50 up. So now Chaz had worked the deal out. Nobody knows this, bruh. Chaz had worked the deal out for Irv Gotti and them to give 50 $250,000. He had worked the deal for them to give $250,000. So now, don't nobody supposed to know this but 50 and Chaz and Irv Gotti and them team. So now, whatever the situation is, Chaz told 50 when they was in Atlanta, he said, go talk to Ja, man. Y'all talk that shit out. But he never asked 50 how 50 felt about it. This is the conversation that me and 50 is having. Because we had this conversation in Dr. Dre's studio when I was bodyguarding Scott Storch. You understand? So now, when 50 went over to Ja, he just snuffed him, cracked. Because Ja had a little baseball bat in his hand, hitting it like this. So when 50 got close enough, 50 snuffed him. So they all tried to jump. Chaz jumped in there, grabbed 50, but they wasn't going to try to hit 50 after Chaz grabbed him. They wasn't going to try to hit 50. And if they'd have hit Chaz, they knew all hell would have been broken out. All hell would have been loose in Queens. You understand? They was just trying to get to 50, but they couldn't get to him because Chaz had grabbed him up and everything like that. So Chaz took him to the room. You understand? He said, my man, why you do that and stuff like that? And 50 explained to him, he trying to act like he was a certain way, Ja Rule. So he snuffed him in the whole 9 yards. He didn't know he had the bat in his hand. He was acting like he wanted something. And then Chaz found out later that 50 got Ja chained. You understand? And so then Chaz asked 50, what do you want to be? Because he found he had the chain. He said, what are you going to be, a robber or a rapper? I need to know this. And 50 said, what, I supposed to lose my watch, brother? You know what I'm saying? I lost my watch. He lose something, I lose something. You know what I'm saying? So now Chaz gave 50 Movado with diamonds in it for his watch, for him losing his watch at the time. I don't know what kind of watch 50 had, but that's what Chaz gave him. 50 eventually gave the chain back, and Ja got his chain back.
Gene Deal tells some interesting stories. I've been rocking with Gene Deal since he first came out talking about the night Biggie died.
Like that. So now the deal is going sour from the 250,000 they were supposed to give 50. You understand? They were supposed to give 250,000 because they was thinking that 50 was supposed to. They had put out paperwork and lies that 50 snitched and 50 didn't snitch. 50 ain't say nothing about that stabbing. That came from the DJ and the engineer, and the prosecutor put 50 name in the paperwork as a protective witness. You understand? But 50 ain't give him no kind of statement or nothing like that. That was checked and clarified.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And they tried to say he was a snitch on that. But yo, how do y'all feel? Y'all think that 50 would snitch low key? Like they done tried to put that jacket on my boy since he done came out, even with the Ghetto Quran, the first song he put out talking about preem them and giving respect to the gangsters in Queens. They was trying to say he was dry snitching, but I don't think so. What do y'all think? Put it in the comment section. Let's talk about it.
You understand what I'm saying? He didn't give him no kind of statement. So they were supposed to give 50 to 250,000, but the manager of 50 found out. I don't know who told him. I don't know how he got the information. So then after the fight, you understand, they decided they wasn't going to get a 250,000 because 50 didn't come to the meeting. All right. This meeting was at Black Hands in Queens, right? Supreme had an office downstairs. Black Hands was upstairs. So now Chaz is calling me. Say, where you at? I said, I'm on my way, bro. Y'all doing this shit at 1 o'clock. I got a dog. I'm working. You understand? But I'm coming through my lunch break. You know what I'm saying? Like that. He said, yo, you heard from 50. I was like, nah, why should I hear from 50? He said, yo, he ain't here, bro. He ain't here. So I said, call him. He said, I've been calling him. He not picking up. So I said, all right. So I call him. So I call him. 50 pick up on the first ring. I said, what up, Fifth? I said, what up, Fifth? What's going on? He said, nothing, Gene, what's happening? I said, yo, man, why you ain't at the meeting? He said, oh, I knew that was the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He said, oh, I got to go down to Columbia. I know it was Columbia, Tommy Mottola, something like that. He told him like that. He said, yo, tell them to reschedule it. And I said, man, you call and tell them. You understand? He said, tell him, Gene, do that for me. I said, yeah, all right. So then I called Chaz back. I said, I just got to 50, man. He said, tell y'all to reschedule it, man. He said, man, everybody's out here. He knew about it. Chaz started running down on me like this. I said, yo, bro, he said he ain't going to be able to make it, bro. Y'all don't know what you want me to do, bro. I'll be there in a minute and everything like that. So now me and Chaz meet up. Chaz tells me, yo, we ain't dealing with 50 no more. And I said, we? He said, yeah, he's not doing what Black Hands need to do for him. I said, I said, but we? What do you mean we? He said, well, I made the introduction to y'all too. So, and you're part of Black Hands and everything like that. I'm just letting you know what we're not doing. Well, I said, yo, Chaz, I'm my own man. You know, I make those decisions for myself. You know what I'm saying? Because at that meeting that 50 didn't show up with, Irv Gotti and them was worried about if something happened to 50, what Chaz was going to do. You understand?
Yeah.
They was worried about whatever happened to 50. Yo, something happened to us. Yo, Slim, you ain't gonna you ain't gonna change your mind. Slim said, change my mind. He ain't even calling me. He ain't dealing with me. You know what I'm saying? Change my mind. I don't have nothing to do with that. He not with me. He not calling me back. He not speaking with me. So when they heard that, they felt that, and it wasn't supreme. Like everybody wanted, and it makes it bigger when people think it's supreme. You know, it wasn't supreme. The Murder Inc. people know who it was, and it wasn't supreme. The people who was sitting there talking, Irv Gotti and them, who was sitting there talking, worrying about was Chaz was going to say anything, was Chaz going to change his mind, was Chaz people going to do anything if something happened to 50. That's how it went down. So they thought, okay, we're not going to pay a nigga the $250,000. We'll pay a nigga $25,000. And everybody know in the streets, this ain't just something that I'm making up. They know it wasn't supreme. It was Irv Gotti and his people who put that on 50.
I told you, Zilla. Yo, Zilla is my co-host on our podcast, The Conversation. We had a debate, and I was telling him we had a debate about why he said he was smoking on Irv Gotti and everything. And he was trying to tell me something about 50 should be respecting this and this and that. And I told him, said, you don't know why 50 feel the way he feel. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story. Let's continue.
That's why 50 hate them so much. You understand? So now, you understand? I call 50. 50 calls me back. Yo, Gene, you got a vest? I said, you gonna need one. He came over to the crib. I tried to fit him for one, and it did, at that time I was 2X, 3X. He was extra large or large. It wasn't happening. You understand? So I gave him a cover. I said, just have somebody put your panels in this and sew it up on the side. Sew it tight. So if you get hit, it won't be loose. Just sew it up. Take it to the. I guess he didn't want to do. He took it. He took the cover. You understand? But I guess he didn't use it. You understand? But I told him that, bro, they coming at you. And so then we got into a conversation at Dre's studio. No, we got in a conversation in Puerto Rico at Jack the Rapper when he had blew up and he had that first hit album. You understand? The Black Hands crew was there. Everybody that him and his crew was walking through. 50 stopped. Everything he was doing, it came right over to me. He said, Gene, they can't stop what God got planned. I said, you right, bro. Gave me that. They went on with his people. Next time I seen him, he was at Dre's studio. He was doing 2 songs with Scott Storch, Candy Shop and some other song. He was doing Candy Shop or some other song that he was doing with Scott Storch. We had a long conversation, and I was like, "Yo, bro, you stop f***ing with me." You know what I'm saying? And I've always been my own man. And he said, "Yo, Gene, you was part of Black Hands. You understand? That's how I met you." St. Chaz really told me. He said, I didn't know who to trust. So I didn't f with nobody. I said, I can understand that based on the situation you went through. So I start seeing him, come to Shoes Rendezvous, You know what I'm saying? K Slay started working with him, doing shit with him and everything like that. He always been a gentleman to me. Always been a gentleman to him. And we just remained cool. And then when we got ready to do his documentary, I was going to be one of the headliners on this documentary, but the producer started talking crazy to me and trying to give me peanuts. And I was like, yo, listen here, ma. Have 50 call me. And fuck it. And that's how I went.
I'm happy you broke that down because a lot of people don't understand what Irv did to 50 to make him hate him so much.
My man, he's supposed to hate them. He's supposed to hate them. You understand? Them niggas was trying to take him out of here. Y'all wouldn't have seen Power. Y'all wouldn't have seen BMF. Y'all wouldn't have seen none of that shit if that shit would have went down there. But God had other plans for him. He's supposed to have it. They don't never supposed to take no rap shit and put it in the streets like that and have street niggas who don't give a F and do some crazy shit like that to the man. You understand what I'm saying? Over some rap shit. Get out of here, bro. He's supposed to hate him. You know, if it was me, I'd have sent flowers to his funeral. But he smoked a Gotti. So I guess that was cool. And that's real talk. And that's for and that's for that dude who called me talking about leave Irv Gotti name out of his mouth. Nah, I said Irv Gotti name. I'm still here. I'm gonna be here. Cause like my man told me, you can't stop what God got planned.